It's been a day of heartbreak and cheers in the world of amateur boxing. Since the last bell at the Beijing Games in 2008, the best amateurs in Britain have been dreaming of a place in the team for this summer's Games. 8 went to Beijing and they came back with 3 medals, a great haul. 7 have turned professional. The new boys have been winning major medals at the World and the European Championships since that glorious weekend in Beijing. And now the final 7 boxers have been announced for the last 5 places available in the GB Dream Team for London 2012. They go to Turkey next month for the final qualifier. Tonight I have Robert McCracken, the man in charge of the GB team, on the show to go over the list and the men that missed the cut. Yeah, so let's start with the GB Olympic boxing coach, Robert McCracken, the man that has been up a lot of nights, losing a lot of sleep and trying to put together the best possible team for this summer's Olympics. It is possible that as many as 60 boxers have come and gone inside the GB system under Robert's watch. He has 5 confirmed places and he's just selected another 7 to compete for the 5 available remaining weights. Now, I had to speak to Robert earlier and I started by asking him if it had been the toughest few days of his coaching life.
I think it has, in terms of who we selected, really, especially at 60 kilos. It's been a real headache. Obviously, Martin Wood and Ian Weaver have boxed extensively for us throughout the world over the last 2 or 3 years, and did pretty well, but it's been a tough call, and obviously we've had to make the right choice for this tournament, and we think we've done that. Now,
with Maxwell coming in, I mean, he was in the ABAs last year down in Colchester, and then went in that GB tournament. How many times has he actually been overseas? Because he must have done something to have impressed you to leapfrog over those 2, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, we as you touched on, we've travelled the world with the boxers to different tournaments all over the place. And Maxwell's been abroad before. He's had a couple of decent wins in Ireland of note. He also went to Finland recently and won the GB tournament, beat the Russian there, and won the boxer of the tournament. There's some pretty good Russians there, so he's more experienced than people are aware of. Cool. He's boxed for England quite a few times. He won the GB championships recently, and he's also an ABA champion. So he's been around for a decent amount of time, and he couldn't get out of Liverpool for a space of time because of Thomas Stalker, who's now ranked 1 in the world at 64 kilos. So I think Stalker kind of held him off for a little bit, but now obviously he's come through, and he was very impressive at the GB tournament recently in Finland. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Maxwell. My problem was, say, like 5 or 6 months ago, I just didn't think he'd be able to cram in the experience, because I knew how many major tournaments Weaver and Ward had been at between them. So I commend you for that one. I think that's a brave one, but it's also one that I think's a good decision. Charlie Edwards down at Light Fly, is he happy? Still happy down there weight-wise? 'Cause he's only a baby and he's growing and growing, day in, day out. Yeah, I mean, he's going to grow, Steve. Realistically, he's not going to stay at light flyweight, but he's okay at the weight at the moment. He's working hard. Very tough. The East dominate that weight division, and Charlie's steadily making inroads. Very difficult, but he's doing okay. He's doing fine. And the good thing about that is all you've got to do at that weight is get to the semi-finals, because it's 4 that go through, whereas there are some weights, like the heavyweight, and you've selected Warren Baster, where you've got to actually win the thing. Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. The qualifying standards for Europe's extremely tough. I mean, you have the World Championships, and then you just have the tournament in Turkey for the men, and that's your lot, basically. Very difficult. There's only 1 place available at 91 kilos. There's only 2 at 75, just to show you how difficult it will be. Semi-finals at lightweight and semi-finals at light flyweight. So, there's opportunities there. And you split the middleweights, Callum Smith, Anthony Agogo. I guess you've been looking at them and wondering, and I think maybe even mentioned this to you a few months ago, was there a chance you could send one of them up? Anthony Agogo, he stayed at middle, and Callum Smith, of the Fighting Smiths, 58 generations of them, and Callum's going to go up to light heavyweight. When did you start thinking seriously about Callum going up? We started thinking seriously probably 12 months ago, and then obviously we've looked at it, and we there's been issues. Go obviously had the shoulder injury, which then leaves Callum Smith available at 75 also. So we've kind of been steadily looking at it, doing the right thing at the right time, taking him month by month, and we've just had a really good camp with the Kazakhstan team, and they had the world number 2, the 81 kilogram world silver medalist over, doing plenty of sparring with Callum, so that worked a treat. Smithy's up to almost 79 kilos now, so I think he'd be pressed to do 75 at the minute, so it's kind of worked out right, and he's looking good, and he's in good shape and condition moving into it.
And he's a baby as well, so in all fairness, the idea that he's got 6 months of growth or 4 months of growth, whatever's left, that's not a bad thing. And then the other two lightweights, Josh Taylor, the Scotsman, and Joe Cordina, the Welsh kid, who I also liked at the GB champs last year. I thought he looked sensational in those. I thought, really impressed me, the kid. And at that weight, at lightweight, I think it's only 3, not 4, Rob, which is really tricky. So it's the 2 finalists, and then the 2 semi-finalists have the 2 losing semi-finalists have to box each other.
Yeah,
it's tough, isn't it?
The it's semi-finals at lightweight, Steve. So you're looking at the last 4, but realistically, you get to the last 4, you're there. Joe Cordina, young, talented kid out of Wales, got plenty of potential, and he's good enough to go to the qualifier.
Yeah.
And a real potential for the future, going on hopefully to London, and then obviously for Brazil. Josh Taylor really come through at the moment, got back down to lightweight, has been switched on, went to the Felix Dam recently, performed really well, and lost by 2 points to the former world champion in the Europeans last year. So real potential from Josh Taylor in Scotland, and Joe Cordina from Wales as well.
So Rob, we've got 5 through already. We're sending these out at the 5 other weights. They all come back, whatever it is, the 20th or 21st or 20 whatever of April. What happens between getting off the plane, coming back, when you know exactly how many boys you're actually going to have at the Olympics this summer? What happens between then and the opening ceremony, Rob? Are you going overseas, or will it be intensive camps here? How many tournaments? Is it as busy as it's been the last 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, no, we'll start to look to ease it down a touch, obviously. We've got training camps coming up here and abroad. We'll have Uzbekistan coming over to us shortly, and the Germans, so we'll have a great camp there in early June. We'll also be looking to go to Buzet, where we always go before major tournaments. And the Olympians will box again. They'll probably box early May, so that gives them a good 10 weeks or so before the Olympic Games start, to avoid any injuries, etc. But they'll box again before the Olympics, and then we'll concentrate on a few training camps, and that'll take them into it.
Any chance of them boxing on home soil before the Olympics?
You never know what's around the corner, Steve, but looking at the programme at the moment, it might be a touch difficult. Of course, there's the GB Championships coming up, and we'll have some real big names going into that. But the Olympians right now, we just got to sort of concentrate on preparing them and moving them on towards July and getting that medal at the Olympic Games. Well,
I'll tell you what, Robert, also, just before I leave you, and thanks for spending the time with us, I've been at a few of the ABA's different events this year, different qualifiers, different stages. And I've got to tell you, it's when this mob all defect, because they invariably do after the games. Let's hope not all of them do, but when most of them do, there's a lot of talent coming through, Rob. It's going to be a fantastic build-up the next 2 years.
Yeah, the great thing for boxing over here is that we've got plenty of talented kids coming through all the time, and long may it continue, and long may the amateur game remain as strong as what it is at the moment.
Long may it remain as strong as it is at the moment. Just a reminder, OK, that in 1984 we won a bronze medal, 88 a bronze medal, 92 a bronze medal, 1996 we sent 2 boxers to the Olympics. They didn't win a fight, let alone a medal. In 2000 we sent 2 boxers to the Olympics. One failed to win a fight. The other one managed to get all the way to the final. That was Audley Harrison, and win a gold. So we should have had a big boost, really, from there. But we went into 2004, and once again, all we managed to qualify was 1 boxer in Athens, and that was a 17-year-old kid, Amir Khan. That's why he's so popular, because he managed to get to the final, and he lost to Mario Kinderland, who won his 3rd consecutive gold medal. So fast forward now to Beijing 4 years ago, 4 years on from that fantastic achievement of Amir in Athens, and we sent 8 boxers out. It was a squad. It really was a squad, an intense squad. Men that had been together really for 3 or 4 years. They'd been at world championships together. They'd been at European championships together. They had met the best. They might have lost, but they'd met the best. They'd sometimes beaten the best. We came back from there with 2 bronze medals and a gold medal. We'd won 3 medals in 1972, but none of them were gold. So really, it was the best haul since 1956. What a sensational Olympics that was. So today, Robert McCracken added, this is already our existing list of boxers. Okay, these are the guys we've already had qualify. And today, Robert McCracken added more. We've already got Andrew Selby there. We've already got Luke Campbell there. We've already got Tommy Stalker there. We've already got Fred Evans there. And we've already got Big Anthony Joshua there. And today, Robert McCracken named Charlie Edwards from the Lynn Amateur Boxing Club in South East London at light flyweight. Fantastic news for Charlie. All Charlie's got to do is reach the semi-finals, and then he's going to be at the Olympics. And at lightweight, rather controversially, Rob selected Sam Maxwell over Ian Weaver and Martin Ward, both of whom have been on this show in the last 2-3 years. And also included, there will be a Scotsman, Josh Taylor, and a Welshman, Joe Cordina. Now, these guys have to reach at least the semi-final, and I can see there having to be a box-off between 1 or 2 of these, because the same thing happened in 1996 when David Burke from England and Scott Harrison from Scotland both qualified. Both managed to reach the qualifying standard in Val in Denmark. I was out there in the snow. It was a fantastic, fantastic place. And they both got through, and they had to have a box off. And they boxed off at 9 o'clock in the morning. Berkey won, so he managed to get the place and go out to the Olympics, where he lost. He just didn't get it right. He couldn't. It was a right disaster. And then there's Callum Smith, up from middleweight, up from 75 kilos from the Rotunda Club. Part of this Fighting Smith dynasty includes his brothers Liam, Stephen and Paul, all of whom are professionals at the moment, and they have won in the past Commonwealth Games gold, European bronze and Commonwealth Games silver, a top quality family. And at 91 kilos, that's heavyweight, but it's amateur heavyweight, which is basically professional cruiserweight, Warren Baster. It's hard for them. And then at middleweight, and only the 2 men that reach the final will actually get to go to the Olympics. It's tough.